Hi, everyone. So I wanted to share with you a little bit today because, there's so much going on in the current paradigm of where we are in 2020. And a lot of what's going on out there is just feeding fear and creating fear. And I speak from personal experience that I fell into it for a short time for sure. And before I came back from Cuba, I was going through a lot of fear about coming back. Primarily because as a child, I had a lot of visions and a lot of future kind of predictions that I saw as a very young child. And a lot of those have come true and are coming true currently. So for me, there was sort of this very personal reality of my own fear and things that I've seen that would be coming that seem to be transpiring at the present moment. And seeing what came on the other side of that was always a time that I sort of silently prayed I wouldn't have to live through. But here we are in 2020, and some of those things seem to be happening and seem to be coming forth. And there are lots of pieces of information floating around on Facebook, on the web, on YouTube, everywhere that are warning of us of all kinds of crazy things that seem far-fetched, but that could in fact be possible in the current technological reality that we live in. So the question becomes for each individual, how do we want to manage and deal with this overload of information, and where do we want to put our time and energy? Because the bigger picture of what the totality of humanity is experiencing and the trajectory that the planetary design is moving into is not necessarily within our control as individuals. However, what is in our control, whether we choose to believe that everything is going to turn out just perfect, or whether there's fears in your mind of where things could go into the negative or the darkness, it really doesn't matter. What really matters is what are you doing right now with your energy and your time, and what do you want to put your focus on in this time? Because if nothing else out of this whole experience of Corona, we get to have an opportunity to pause and to consider what we buy into, what we believe, and more importantly, what we want to put our energy into, regardless of what's happening on the exterior plane and in the bigger world at large. So that's really what got me through all my fear, was deciding and making a conscious decision, really, that regardless of what happened, I was going to stay in love, and I was going to stay in focusing on the things that bring me joy and activating within myself to do my very best through these times, to weed through the information and trust my own inner knowing and my own intuition, because there is just so much information out there. Some of it's really legit, some of it's not, but it's really hard to weed through it. So the question again becomes, what do you want to put your time and energy into right now? Do you want to read every single article that's out there? Do you want to spend the rest of your days, weeks through quarantine and this time of pause trying to figure it out? Or do you want to just kind of accept what's going on and focus on yourself and focus on your own growth and your own awareness and your own spiritual progression through this? So that's really a decision that each person gets to make for themselves. I personally find that the more I focus on what's going on in the outside world, in politics, in the sort of realm of the game that's going on out there, that I am not as content and not able to be available for the people that I love, and not available to myself or to the experiences of joy that are always really present when we're really in the moment and we're really focused on our current situation where we are physically. So that's where I choose to put my energy, is on doing things that feed me, that make me feel empowered, strong in the ways that I can be in my own small world of reality. And that works for me. So I'm going to share with you one of the first steps of a six-step program that I've been using for my whole life, to manifest dreams, to bring myself back to center, to get through crises and challenges, and to do that all with grace, and to be able to use this process more as kind of a background program, if you will, speaking in technological terms, that kind of just guides my life. And it's a very simple process. And the first step is what I want to share with you today. So I'm going to share my screen with you and go through a little bit of a presentation. This is part of the Activate Your Mastery 6-step program that I sell, that I use with my coaching clients. and that is available to you anytime that you want it. It's available, and I work one-on-one with people through this process. I take people to Cuba. I do intensives there where we work through this 6-step process with the background of Cuba and music and dancing, and it's fabulous. So that's another way that you can work with this. You can take it on vacation and have an amazing experience, and also transform your life when things open up again. And in the meantime, you can use this in your daily life. This first step is absolutely critical. And it is whether you want to get active in making change in the world and making a stand against the things that you don't resonate with in the greater global experience, or whether you want to use this first step as a way to just find grace in your personal life day to day, or to create a project, or to manifest a dream, or to work through a layer of resistance that you have. This first step is absolutely critical. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we're going to just talk a little bit about this first step. So the first step, let me get through these first screens here. I'm just going to share this a little bit with you. There's a masterpiece waiting to be unveiled. It is art in motion, poetry in form. It's a lifetime of creation waiting to be expressed through you, in you, around you, and for you. It awaits as a demonstration of the divine play of life in a unique way that only you have access to. This is the ultimate representation of all that you are. It's the gift that you give to the world that no one else can. That masterpiece is your life. Are you ready? Because the world is waiting. So, in this time of Corona and in every single day of our life, the question we really should be asking ourselves is, how do you want to live your life? Every day we get this opportunity to decide, do we want to live in fear? Do we want to live angry? Do we want to live frustrated at the system? Because the system will always frustrate you. I promise. The greater system of politics and the world will always generate frustration. It's kind of inbred into the system. It's almost impossible. And it doesn't matter whether you live in Cuba or whether you live in Poland or whether you live in the United States. Systems, political systems, the bigger system at large is not ever going to really be something that gives you a lot of joy or satisfaction in your life. So you get to decide, how do you want to live it? What do you want to focus on right now, today, to bring more joy into your life? And then also to really ask yourself, what's really important in your life, and how many things are distracting you right now in the current reality from what's really important to you in your life. So what you're worrying about and what you're focusing on is where your energy is going to go. So if you're worrying about coronavirus and you're thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, well, guess what? You have a much greater chance of attracting that into your life. And I'm not saying that because you think about it, you'll attract it, nor am I saying that everyone that has it was thinking about it and attracted. I'm not saying that at all. I am saying, however, that where energy goes, attention goes, energy flows. So the more that you focus on the fear, the more likely that you are to attract it into your life. So I talk a lot about the diamond mind in my work. The diamond mind to me is a fascinating topic. We come into this earth as babies, very open, very receptive, and then over time we get these layers of constructs that are given to us by society, by our families, by our training, by our environments, and that kind of creates this, sort of fog, this sort of like heavy density around what came out as this precious perfection. So the diamond mind is about reclaiming that very pure crystalline essence through the pressures of life, right? So whatever happens in our lives, the challenges that we go through, all of those things create pressure. But we get to decide if we're going to cave under that pressure and just become basically a lump of coal or a lump of clay, or if we're going to let that pressure build into us this incredible radiance and this incredible diamond of mastery through life. And mastery, when I speak of mastery, it can be mastery of a certain thing in your life, perhaps an instrument or a dance form, which have always been my favorite things to focus on. Or it could just be mastery of how to learn to live with life, how to move through life without letting life just kind of blow you all over the place. So meditation is super important. There's lots of aspects of meditation that are healthy for your body, for your mind, for your spirit, and it's been proven to just overall boost your life in pretty much every way. So it's something that if you're not doing, it would be my first invitation to you to start taking a few minutes every day to just sit quietly. And you don't have to sit, you know, and hold your breath and do all these, you know, counts and all that. That's great. And some people are really into that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But really, it's just about calming your mind, letting your breath move through your body, stilling your mind enough to be able to hear your inner guidance. Sometimes I go and just sit in nature. And even with my eyes open, just observe and allow nature to just enter really kind of into my system so that I can reconnect with the natural flow of life. So there's lots of different ways to meditate. You can do moving meditations. Dancing is very much can be a meditation. Anything that brings you to that still point within is a great practice to include in your life. But really just sitting quietly for 5 or 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day can start to make a huge impact on your life and your reality. So I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit. If you take the course, there's a lot more to this first module, but I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Got this? Right. Okay, there's a lot of slides here. Okay, so step 1 in the Activate Your Mastery process. Accept what is and trust in the process. Wow, right? That's a really hard thing for most people to do. And I want you to check in with yourself right now around Corona, around quarantine, around what's going on in your personal life right now. And ask yourself, how much resistance are you putting forth to the reality of what is? Are you kind of just flowing into it? Are you at peace with it? Are you able to even find joy and happiness in it? Or are you fighting with the reality of what's going on, thereby creating more stress and frustration in your system? So what you resist in life persists. Whenever you come up against something that you don't like in life, our natural response is kind of to fight back or to resist it. But really what that does is it creates more stress in the body. It makes us frustrated, depressed, we get angry. We feel overwhelmed. We go sometimes into denial. I don't want to deal with this. I hear this a lot in the spiritual community and my friends that are talking about some of the undercurrents of what's going on right now. Like, I just can't deal with it. I just don't want to think about it. Well, denial is just another form of resistance. It really is. And the real tool to work through all that is just to simply accept it for what it is. Now, that doesn't mean being complacent. It's a really, really, really big difference. So if you're really feeling frustrated about everything in your life, this could be a really great process for you to move through. Activating your mastery means that you are choosing to let your challenges and your frustrations be fuel for creating something else rather than a hellfire of destruction in your life. By accepting what is and trusting in the process, you immediately put yourself on a path to being able to transform any opportunity into change. So let me bump forward here. Accepting what is allows you to stop resisting reality so you can join in the creative play with divinity. So this is a really critical fact. When we let go, there's that great saying, let go, let God. When we let go of trying to control it and trying to know and trying to understand everything about a problem, when we let go of that and we just, okay, wow, here it is. This is what it is. This is how it's presenting itself. And the best thing I can do is surrender to that. Once you surrender into that, and I know it sounds kind of esoteric and difficult, but that's where the real opportunity for transformation begins. Because if somebody hands you something and you want it to be something else, you have to kind of look at what it is first to create something else out of it. So it's a super, super, super important step. And obviously sometimes reality just sucks, but arguing with reality, fighting with reality is so futile, and it just creates more of that same stress in your body. If it's not meant to happen, it's not going to happen. It's plain and simple. And we fight against it so much in relationships. When we go through breakups or we go through major transformations in the relationship, We usually spend the first part of it going, oh my God, why is this happening? I don't want this to happen. This isn't meant to happen. Well, it is meant to happen, because if it wasn't meant to happen, it wouldn't happen, period. That's the way it goes. Even with the coronavirus, it's easy to say, well, this should never have happened. There should have been more controls. There should have been blah, blah, blah. But obviously it's happening, and it's meant to happen, and there's a reason, and we have to understand that we have to trust in this process to get to the other side of it. Doesn't mean we have to like it. Doesn't mean we have to be complacent or apathetic about it, but we do have to surrender our trying to control something that's bigger than us. The great serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So the difference is basically inside of ourselves is really where we can work. We cannot control Donald Trump. We cannot control the political system. We can say that we vote. We can say that we have some ability to create organized movements to help shift things in certain directions. Absolutely we can. But we are not able to control other people and other realities outside of ourselves in truth. So when you accept all that, when you get to that point, then you're able to build something that might have legs to create that change by learning and understanding how that thing is. You can kind of work in and around it. So what are the changeables that you have the ability to work with right now? Your life and your future, personally. Focus on that first. Your attitude and approach to your life, your perception of reality, and your story about that reality. If you start to see conflict and challenges around you, those are just really signs that there are whole other worlds of possibilities that are available. You can change your career, your work, your environment. You can change the way that you talk to yourself and the way that you take care of yourself. You can change the things around you, your car, your clothes, your appearance, your contributions to the world. You can change those. You can change how you relate to others and how you relate to yourself and how you show up in the world. And through engagement and organizing, you can actually change policies and procedures in the world. But first, you have to accept the way things are so that you know how to work within those. The unchangeables, your past. Why even bother focusing on it anymore? Let it go. It's done. It's dead. It's a great tool for you to learn from, but you can't change what already happened. That's just wasting your time and energy. Your parents and family history, you really can't change that. That is what it is. So you can either make peace with it, even if you had a shitty family, even if you went through abusive situations, even if you had a really hard time in life. Guess what? Almost all of us have those stories and those realities. You can't change it. All you can do is work with it and change the way that you think about it and use it as a tool for the future growth. World history in general, we have not yet found a time machine to go back and change things. That would be great if we could. I'm sure that would change a lot of things. Other people's lives, we can make impact and we can make suggestions and we can be there to offer support, but we really cannot change other people or their lives or the decisions. They have to make those for themselves. So wasting a lot of time trying to control other people or thinking that someone should be something that they're not is just a waste of your time. And it gets kind of like boring for them and for you eventually. The physical laws of the universe, gravity, these kinds of things are physics. And we're really not yet able to change them, although we have found really unique and creative ways with technology to work around them and with them. Life, aging, death, karma, the process of life, the basic life cycle, we really can't change that. It's just what it is, natural law and order. So these are things to think about when you find yourself getting frustrated with what's going on. Ask yourself, is this something I can change? Is this something that I can have influence over? Is this something I can have impact on? Or is this something that's better for me to just let go of and focus on something else that's going to bring more joy into my life? Because when you're in joy, basically you're so much more available for so many more opportunities to serve, to be served, to be helped, and to help. So if you really kind of shed all that shit that bogs you down and where you're fighting with the reality, then you can really have an opportunity to fully live. Because otherwise you're really not even living. You're just existing in this sense of like frustration and resistance and denial and complacency, and it just kind of sucks. So I don't know if anybody out there is experienced that, but I've definitely gone through my times with it, and it's a lot more fun and a lot more graceful to accept and work within the reality and to be able to change the things that I can change and work on those on a daily basis. So I want to leave you with an exercise that you can do at least twice a day, I recommend. Take 10 minutes before you go to bed and 10 minutes in the morning if you can. I recommend doing it in the morning and at night. And sit quietly, just kind of like to meditate, or any way that you want to. You can have a cup of tea. I always have my tea. I love my tea. Sit quietly and listen to your thoughts and just kind of hear what's coming forth. What are those deeper callings that are coming forth in your life that you feel like you haven't gotten to and that you really haven't devoted time to in your life? Do you want to learn a new form of dance? Do you want to learn how to play an instrument? Do you want to do art? Do you want to take more walks? Do you want to spend more time with your kids and your family? And listen to what that is telling you and what inspires in you. So start to just envision, what are the things that you've been kind of shoving under the rug under all this frustration and discontent, and that would actually give your life more meaning and purpose? What are your passions? And then spend a couple minutes journaling about that, even if it's just writing a couple notes. And do that in the morning, first thing in the morning when you wake up, and right before you go to bed at night. And then get back to me. Come to the Zoom tomorrow and share with us and let us know how things are going. So I'm not gonna go through all this today because there's a lot. But this is the premise of the first step of the Activate Your Mastery program. This is a 6-week module. I have it available on teachable.com, and I also have it available through my website. And I'm offering it right now super, super, super low price. And then I'm also offering free Jumpstarter sessions with that. So you can work one-on-one with me and get on a Zoom call and work with your personal situation to really get you jump-started through this process. You can go through the 6 steps as many times as you want, as fast or as slow as you want. But there's a lot of exercises that I didn't go over in the Zoom because I only have a limited time here on the Zoom today that are in the program, and it gets a lot deeper and gives you an opportunity to really do some deeper work on yourself to master these steps. Because once you master these 6 steps in your lives, it just becomes on autopilot. I mean, I don't even have to think about it so much anymore. It's just a background program that just runs through my life. So something will come up, I get confronted, and I go through these 6 steps just kind of intuitively now. So I want to share it with you today. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you like the Zoom, please share this video with other people. You can find out more about me at cherishanti.com. And if you're interested in the Activate Your Mastery program, you can go to cherishanti.com/get-unstuck, or just go to cherishanti.com and hit the Get Unstuck button, and that'll take you there. So yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed it, and look forward to hearing from you and hearing some feedback. I hope that you're having a great day. Try not to get bogged down with all this craziness, and fill your life today with passion, purpose, and possibility, because love wants to live you. It's true. Thanks so much. Have a great day.